while instructing at kayaking symposium, he met Lee, also a kayaking instructor. So since that time, they've been kayaking and sailing through life together ever since. Tonight, this lovely family trio will tell us about their South Pacific adventure. Please give them a hand.
Put all this together, it's going to be informal. We're just kind of limiting it, just the way we do it.
If the plans made gel, it really worked well, you know? So I'll do a little bit of a preamble. So we devoured books before going, and we came to a lot of Bluewater Cruising Association meetings while we were still in Dreamers, and it was invaluable. And for anybody that hasn't got their version yet, buy one, because it really works well when you're traveling and you get free marina places. That was just push on your words and stuff. It works really well. We lived on the boat for 12 years all told. We lived on the boat for about 9 years before we actually went traveling. Lyra was actually born on the boat, so she truly is a boat head.
Could you use the mic?
Yeah, I can.
Please.
You can talk about it here.
Is this on? And you keep one of these around for technical advice. So, our style of cruising was very, very low budget. We got a lot of Harry's books, which were pretty low budget. When we left for our dream trip, I think we had a total of $8,000 saved, and we had the boat enough food on board for 3 years, and off we went. And that was so. This sailing trip was on a pretty low end budget, but it was worth doing instead of sailing. Just before we left, our diesel tanks burst, so we only had how much? We decided that we weren't going to stay. We wanted to go. We worked so hard for this dream, and so we got jerry cans. And
we put in about a 40-gallon aluminum tank, just to converted the aft head into a bosun's locker and fuel storage. And so I gave us 40 gallons of fuel plus another 30 in jerry cans on deck. Not ideal for a 40-foot, 20-ton boat with a 60-horsepower diesel. Didn't give us huge range, but we figured we're going. We gotta go, and that's what we did. So a little bit. It's a Bruce Roberts design spray 40, 45 overall, 14-foot beam, 4'8" draft. Sometime. That meaning that when we left, we were drawing more than probably 5 feet with all the stuff we had. We weighed at Canoe Cove about, I think it was 34,000 pounds when we left. That boat was loaded. It's got a lot of volume. We lived on it for 12 years. So we had a lot of stuff. Way too much stuff, obviously. But at the normal draft, it was quite good, and it real advantage to this. Catch rig, 60 horsepower, diesel with hydraulic steering, and of course, you have to autopilot to work really well. The spray itself is, I think it's a good boat. It doesn't sail the weather very well, but it's very stable. Downwind sails everything. When we were doing charters, we did kayak motion. That's how we kind of started. We did that for a few years.
A pilot house?
Yeah, it is a pilot house, a pseudo-pilot house, actually. And it is basically a hard dog. Very beautiful. By the way, as we're doing this, please feel free to ask questions as we go along, and we'll have time at the end as well to use questions. No, that's the keel on it. It's shallow, full keel, so hence you can see the reason it doesn't sail the weather very well. But after Joshua Solton spray, it's where Bruce Roberts took the designs from, and I think he's done a pretty good job. I would definitely keep sailing that spray. you're not getting performance, but you're getting safety, stability. We had inexperienced people who were doing the charter sailing the boat 50 knots of wind. You could just about turn it out and shoot the sail for miles. Hence, we didn't have self-steering thing, we just had a lot of time. And a lot of times, once you get it turned up, you could just miles so that it couldn't go there. So, and big winds, it handled great. Other people were having a rough time with it, and we were just starting to have fun. We wanted 30 knots of wind. So, although it does surprisingly well on light air as well. So these are just some shots of the interior.
I was talking to my friend Marlene, and she was talking about the necessity to bring more with you. And we both decided that a gourmet kitchen is one of the things that bring traveling with you.
There you go. This is says it all.
So this is a picture of me, and before we decided to go offshore, we were fairly committed, but I had those reservations since we had a young kid. I thought, well, can I do it? Can I physically do it? And so I went as crew on Heritage, really good friends of ours, Dave and Deb Baccarat. And we made the mistake, and I don't advise this, we all prayed for bad weather. We all prayed to be tested to our limits. And guess what? We had sustained gale force 8 for 3 days solid. We got knocked down twice. We had rogue waves 3 times. We almost got swept overboard. It was a nightmare voyage. And I think I spent a lot of time in tears, and sometimes in laughter. Daylight was great. Nighttime was no fun because it was pitch black. But I did come back with realizing that I don't panic. I'm able to respond. And so that for me was a real telling point, was, yeah, I can do this.
This is just a little bit on prep, a few things, the standard stuff going over the rig. I had to replace a few things on the rig, new tangs. A few things that I did a little differently were the masthead light, maybe your standard anchor light and tricolor light. What I did is I replaced the anchor light with an LED tri-light that I made myself. So this was before the days when you could buy one at West Marine. So I got a bunch of different colored LEDs, wired them together in the different colors, and so I used the anchor as the cruising under sail light, and then I still had the light bulb one that I could use as backup when I'm motoring, or if I saw a vessel and I wanted something really bright. But the LEDs were surprisingly bright. I also had to put a strobe just from the automotive store, one of those orange strobes on the mizzen mast, and that just worked as something just for visibility if we needed to be seen more. We didn't need to do as much. So I just put in heavy-duty tangs, checking, I had a new rudder built, and the design of the rudder here was fairly good. This is a Campbell sailor prop. Most people looked at our boat, especially when it's out of the water, and says, are you moving that with that tiny little propeller? And it does look awfully small for a boat our size, but it worked marvelously. It was actually very efficient with minimal drag. I was really quite impressed with it. And the rudder was, you can see, I could pull it off quite easily, just it was up here and there. I just had to get rid of the bolts, and it's very well protected because the full keel protection, it was quite a solid setup there. So that worked really good, and I felt quite comfortable with the rudder. Here's Lee working on the lazy jack design. We did a miniature model just on the table, just trying to figure out the geometry. Sort of looked at the pictures that they had on the EasyJack website and sort of said, we can do this.
And we did.
Yeah, it worked. Bit of early sail training.
So you have all read about what they call freedom ships. Remember the freedom ships? And so this is my engagement ring that you're looking at here. And so this was all part of the freedom ship enterprise because yeah.
So this is Lyra at 6 years old. This is, when we left, Lyra was 6, and quite competent at sailing, steering the boat. And this is the actual boat that she was named for. We were on the Hard at Canoe Cove Marina while Lee was pregnant, and he was taking a break from scraping the bottom, wandering around the boatyard, and came across this fellow.
No, I think I'd fallen off the scaffold and I wasn't allowed to work anymore. And we saw this boat. I saw this boat, and this person inside my stomach started kicking wildly. So she chose her own name. We figured, so this is Lyra.
And then, actually, just as we were heading offshore, we were down at Fisherman's Wharf in Victoria and came across the boat. And that was actually the boat. This is my last day at work as a pilot, so we were anchored in Seaton Harbor, so we were always quite glad to get rid of that uniform. This is provisioning, just loading up. This is our dinghy, which is a glass zipper design I bought from somebody over at Van Nuys Marina. I can't remember who it was, he built it there. And it was a marvelous boat. We gave it to friends in New Zealand. It was a truck. It could carry an amazing load, and it rode very well. That's the old thing that we had, and there's Lyra again at 6, just rowing by herself and hauling provisions. And here she's rowing off to school. And then we started, before we headed around the island, just as a quick little shakedown cruise. Met up with friends on the way, and stopped in to visit people in the Gulf Islands, friends, and said our goodbyes. And we spent a bit of time here's on Hornby Island. Just part of the joy of cruising is just the kids and all the different kids. And there's times that we didn't have a lot of kids around. And this is just a quick show of the pilot house that had it set up so I could steer from inside using the autopilot. So I had the autopilot control here, GPS, radar, and communication. It was not as I mentioned, it wasn't a true pilot house in that it didn't have a proper steering station. It was more of a hard dodger. But what we did is we had boards to close it off. If we took a big wave and the windows went out or we lost it, we can close it off completely. So that was part of our safety. This is Otter Cove and west coast of the island. Big morning buoys. So we had a good sail around the island, fairly quick. We had some problems with the autopilot en route, so it was good we did the shakedown. It was just a matter I had to rewire it. And there we were at the Coast Hotel. That was just before we left.
This is highly recommended for before you leave for offshore. It's a Coast Hotel. They give winter rates. Again, this is the Freedom ships. The whole so do it, and it was an incredible rate. And they also treat you as guests. So they give you towel service in the winter. You don't have wet towels hanging in the boat. Do you have any idea how good that is?
Actually, they have changed that now. They only do annual contracts.
That's really sad.
It is, because we were planning to be there. We changed our minds because of that.
That's really sad, yeah, because that was just...
It was a great thing. The Americans weren't coming in the summer, so they decided to spread their income over the whole year.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh. This is...